All right. Hey y'all. So this is my very first live for the year. First live of the year. And I'm ready to start off on the wrong foot. I ain't gonna flex and act like I'm not, because at the end of the day, I said I was gonna be here at a certain time, and I showed up a little late on my own live, but we here. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at it as I'm showing up regardless, right? Because that means something to me. I want to make sure this light is bright enough to where I can almost blind myself. So far, so good. Okay. This. Something about this angle I've been kind of wanting to mess with. So we'll see how this works. Okay. So first and foremost, okay, you guys are here because you want to see my process. You want to see how I go about preparing for a photo shoot. In the past year, really for all of 2025, I have been showing you guys a breakdown of certain photo shoots and how I exactly go about ensuring that I get the best shot, that I have the best lighting, that I have the best focus, that I understand my angling. Between photos and videos, you guys have been getting a mixture of everything, as well as those certain lives where I did a marketing video, right? And for now, I'm still trying to decide on how I really want to keep that going. So if I'm going to do the marketing strictly on Instagram, I'm really trying to implement TikTok into my lives now. So I may do maybe a live, maybe 3 lives a week. I'm not sure. I don't know what day I would actually use TikTok, because I don't want to stop doing it on Instagram. So it's a lot of things that I'm processing on top of what I'm doing when it comes to working with clients and so on and so forth. Okay, so normally I'm trying not to only be in my slides. I'm at home. I'm at home. Be comfortable. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the warning right now. I'm going to be taking notes. I am going to be using my notebook to take down notes for myself, just so that way I know exactly what I need to come back to, what I feel like is good advice, what I need to put into its own clip, those types of things. It's a variety of shit. Okay. I'm working on getting some new equipment as well for the new year. So don't worry, even if it looks like I'm still trying to figure my shit out right now, that is okay. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that I keep showing up, I keep doing these lives, because somebody's coming back and watching them, right? I don't know who, but somebody's coming back and watching them. And for those that respond and comment under my lives, I truly, truly appreciate you. You guys even see I got my phone is already showing up over here, right? So that's doing something, that's meaning something to me. Now, the lagging, of course, I'm also going to figure out on my own, see what exactly I need to do to make it better. But just bear with me. Just bear with me, because at the end of the day, I am going to try to, the goal is to create new clips. So this is for you to see my falls, to see my stumbling, to see me fucking up throughout the live, right? And then try to fix it on the fly while we're doing the live. Because at the end of the day, when you're working with a client, some things may take place to where you don't know how to fix it. And it just happens right then and there, and you can't tell the client, hold up, let me figure this shit out. Or they might not understand, and then they might also look at you as if you're unprofessional. So I'm trying to help you to get past that fear. So instead of waiting till the day of, when you might come across some of these mishaps, maybe you can take care of them right before you even get to the shoot. Take care of them by doing something like this, going live, or not necessarily going live, but just practicing, right? You don't have to go live. This is just for me, and mostly so I can, of course, build up my audience on YouTube and apparently on Facebook as well, because that's where my other live is at. But to get into the habit of practicing beforehand, right? And you do not need a model to practice, all right? So I am going to break all this down. I didn't even bring my equipment out. I might bring it out, but I might not set it up. But I will show you guys certain types of examples of what you can do when it comes to preparing for a booking, all right? So let's get right into it. First and foremost, all right, the 2 bookings that I am actually using this day to prepare for and I do need to bring my equipment out for it. So it may be a situation where I bring it out, set it up, talk to you guys while I'm setting it up, and then we might just take a few shots. But ultimately, it is so that way I can be mentally prepared for what is going to take place. So the first and foremost shoot that I is supposed to be for tomorrow, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still waiting on a lady to confirm. This is something else you can also utilize when it comes to your businesses. So if you're like, you don't want to wait till the last minute for somebody to confirm, and if they don't confirm if they don't confirm up to a certain point, you can cancel the booking, right? So this is a business tip for you, right? So I'm going to put it down here so I can make sure I mark that down. Confirm. Client must confirm booking. Because keep in mind, you might be like, well, didn't they pay a deposit? Didn't they go ahead and let you know they wanted to do this? Yes, but then there are some days where they may have booked this way in advance, right? And some people forget. Some people get to the point where they're like, oh man, I forgot it's this weekend. Some people may remember because they know they put some money down. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you don't make any conflicts with anybody else on that particular date and time. So meaning, what I'm doing is I'm ensuring I'm going to text you and say, hey, are we still on for this certain day? Just to make sure, especially if I might know you, right? For example, this person here, I do know. So that's why I was like, I want to make sure, because sometimes it just be up in the air, right? And now this year this year is going to be the year for me to eliminate that. So even if it's friends, family, people I know, make sure that I am also treating them as any other client at the end of the day, because my time is money. Okay, so ensure that the client must confirm booking prior to the day of. Offer. They can in this case they can reschedule to keep deposit. But if they cancel, or I have to cancel it, meaning you didn't confirm and it's been like maybe 48 hours before the event, and you've taken the whole 2 days to not say shit to me, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel it, right? And then you're not gonna get your deposit back, because at the end of the day, what is it? Time is money. Okay. If they cancel, I'm gonna say they have to cancel more than 48 hours. To get the deposit back. We'll say that, to get the deposit back. Even though, and this is again where you can determine how you want to make it work for you. Because for me, my deposits are automatically non-refundable. So it's going to be best for you not to cancel at all. But it's something that you can also offer. So for me, I'm not going to offer that as an option. If you say 48 hours, I don't want to do it anymore, you better reschedule. That's going to be the only option. You can't, it's not going to be a refund in my case. But some people might be like, y'all can refund it, that's not a problem, right? So you can say it must do within, if they want to cancel, let's do it. Nah, I'm not even going to put it must do within 48 hours. If they cancel, no refunds. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Alright, so that's something that I just put in and did with y'all just now, right? So talking about the first line, talking about the first book that I got to do tomorrow morning. First one of the year is basically going to be a baby photo shoot. Now, keep in mind, I'm giving you guys insights on how I really do my business, how I really maneuver when it comes to how I handle things in my particular business. Other people do shit differently, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't really offer baby photo shoots. Again, this is from somebody that I know. This is somebody that I am close to. This is somebody that I have worked with in the past. And we have kind of grown together in a way when it comes to our businesses to an extent, right? So it was something I kind of was doing in a way of helping them. You know, they wanted to shoot. They got a photo of a birthday party coming up. They want to make sure they have pictures so they can print it out. It's a whole thing. So I'm not tripping too much, but at the end of the day, my name is on this thing. My name is on this thing, meaning that I have to make sure that I am showing up. I have to make sure that I am giving the best possible work that I can give for their particular event. And at the end of the day, even if I'm shooting for an hour, there's a lot of shots I can take within that hour, right? So that's ensuring that I have the best lighting, the best setup, and I'm going to show you guys what that setup is going to look like in a second. just for the idea of a baby, for example, right? And what I can do, or you can do similar to your area that has made look like mine, all right? And again, make sure you utilize all that time that you have, because when it comes to a baby, you are not, the baby's not, is not on your time. You are on that baby's time. Okay, meaning if they say no, that's no. You know what I'm saying? So finding different ways to keep it entertained, finding different ways to ensure that you are paying attention to if they're moving, move to a certain spot, snap a bunch of shots and right then and there. Of course, if they get irritated, maybe they might start crying, and having that, considering how much time that might take to soothe them, to get them back okay. Hopefully the parent brings them in and they already have been rested, already have been fed, already have been changed. That way they can go right into it. We already know maybe an hour might not even be, it might not even be needed, because you can, I'm almost expecting the baby to not do anything for an hour, and that's unrealistic, right? Because they're gonna move around, they're gonna want to do different things, so they're gonna want to adjust. Okay, so just so that way it makes sense for them, right? Because they want to be comfortable, whatever that looks like. Okay, so I see this would help bring me in a little bit more. Okay, cool. All right, so just something else to consider when it comes to that. Now, the setup that I'm going to have, okay, is ideally going to be here. Obviously, as you can see, this is my living room, all right? And I will move out the way so you guys can see it on this end. So this is my living room. Move this screen over. All right, not even sure if I even need this video right here of me, but I'll keep it for now, because you never know. Okay, so this is my living area, all right? And I'll bring this down a little bit so you guys can really see. Now, what can you do with this, all right? So, of course, you guys can see I got the couch, I got the rug, right? And I'll bring this phone closer just so you guys can see. All right. So I guess I need to do this light. Oh, this is myself. All right. So now that we're here, this would be an area that can be utilized, right? Rappers and stuff like that. Okay. So this could be an area that could be utilized. How can you utilize it, right? This is where you have to be creative. We have to kind of see, okay, maybe this spot would make sense. Maybe this spot would be nice, right? So, for example, if I were to, let me see, I have a bear somewhere. Let me go, a stuffed animal somewhere. Let me go get that. Can you see if you got one of your stuffed animals in there in the closet? Nail polish remover, and where is that?
It's on that shelf of yours. It's there.
Oh, I see it. You need some more. Yeah. Even though can's not that big, but we're gonna survive. Thank you, baby. There you go. This is the baby. Keep in mind, ain't no way the baby's gonna be this big. The baby's probably like less than a year, like about to turn 1, right? So it might be maybe a third of this size. But either way, we're gonna mess with it. Alright, so here is your baby, right? So bring it in. Now you're trying to see, okay, where do I sit him at? Keep in mind, know your props, know your area, know what makes sense, know what works. Because you don't want to just place them anywhere and it's uncomfortable, maybe they don't stay. There's a lot of things to really consider with this, right? So keep in mind, the couch is going to be cleared off. So ultimately, I probably would have him right here, right? I probably have him sitting in the corner, right? So maybe I decide to put the pillow behind him and have him sitting have him right there as an option, right? That's one look you can possibly do. Then of course I will move it around. My mom might have some props with him here where he could be playing around with them. Of course, ensuring that there's nothing that's sharp that's gonna hurt him, obviously. But ultimately getting him here will be a great idea. So that's me rotating the baby or just being wherever the baby is at. So keeping something on television, because I got my TV here, so I might be able to keep something on here for him to stay entertained. And then of course, wherever his eyes are, I will follow just so I can make sure I go ahead and snap that picture, right? So now it's going to be determined on how I have my camera set up, okay? Let's see. Do I have time to set this up here? We can try. We can try. Okay. Now, one of the things you have to determine when you grab your camera is what lens do I want to use, right? Now, because again, the bokeh is always going to be butter, right? And then you want to get that nice, crisp look of the subject, the model, but you also want that creamy, blurry background. So that's typically going to be your prime lens. This is my kit lens, right? So my kit lens, it'll do it, but to an extent. It's not, doesn't go very far. So you're really going to get something that has a focal point of a 1.8, 2.0, right? So I can grab any one of those. But of course, keep in mind, if you're using a prime lens, that more than likely is going to crop your frame. Whereas with this one, it's a zoom lens. It's a kit lens because it came with the camera, initially. But it's a zoom lens because you can zoom in and out because this will actually go up and down. Whereas the prime lens doesn't do that. So it stays on one crop, right, the entire time. So that's something to definitely keep into consideration. All right, so this light went out. This is fine. I don't think I really need that much. Okay. Well, I might even put it on charge. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and switch out to our prime lens. Since I already know what kind of footage I'm going to try to get with this, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it out now. So I'm going to take off my kit lens, place it here. Where did I put my pen? Oh, man. Baby shoot area, baby proof, right? Then determine best lens, and then we're going to go to the second location. All right, so alright, so this is a 50, okay? This right here will be a 50 millimeter, right? So now I have to decide, I can use a 35 or I can use a 50, but if I use the 50, I gotta be prepared to have to be backed up because this is gonna pretty much be close to my model, baby or not, right? So let me go ahead and put this on and we're gonna test it out. Then I'm gonna of course connect this to the computer. Just so that can come in right quick. Where is this at? That's going to be not webcam. EOS utility. Wait for that to show up. Of course, I got my tripod, and that's just to help me really connect the cord. Hey, so what the hell? All right, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so I'm not wasting time. Plug that in there. All right, you think we back now? Okay, put it in there. So now I'm going to plug this in here. Turn on my camera. I got all my stuff going on with it. Then, of course, make sure that the EOS is connecting. Okay, so keep in mind, ideally, I'm going to have my light off to the side, right? But instead of me having that, I'm thinking about the baby. I'm thinking about if I have my speed light right on top of them, right on top of my camera, and I'm facing them, it's gonna be very, very bright. So I want to be intentional with what I'm doing, okay? So I will need a tripod, which actually is going to be the best one. Actually, no, I got another one here. So I'll use that. I got a couple actually. This is why it's good to have multiples of the same thing. Because you never know when you're going to need it. Alright. Got another tripod here. So that'll be for my speed light, which I'm actually about to go get. Alright, so here's my speed light. And I do got batteries in it. That's my speed light right there. Now I gotta think about how I'm gonna have it connected, right? Because think about this. The way the back, this is, the bottom, it won't fit on something like this. So I would have to get my S bracket. And I'll show you that. S bracket. Now the thing is, the S bracket has this. So technically, it's not good for that either. So I would definitely need this light stand. Keep that in mind. S bracket connects to a light stand, because it is apparently for lights. Alright? Then of course I can connect this to the back of my S bracket, through the back. Then lock that in. So that way it looks like this. Okay, lock it in. Not too tight. It looks like that. And of course cut it on. Right? Then you connect this to here. Release. Make sure it's locked in. Boom, boom, bang. Now, of course, if you need a diffuser, you can add that on as you see fit. Alright? But right now, I'll keep it like this, but I am going to make sure that it is angled at a certain way for my model, right? The baby in this case. So we'll put it right here. Alright, so you guys can see this better. So this is where I am placing my light, right? So now what the goal is to make sure that it is hitting the baby at an angle and going downward, right? And we can play around with it. So this is the beauty of doing test shots when you're at a photo shoot. This way you are ensuring that you've practiced the look. You already know what it's going to do, and ultimately, once you're okay and you're satisfied with it, you can continue shooting, okay? So now I am getting my trigger. It got a battery in it too, which these will need to be charged tonight. Okay, put that in. Turn that on. Then I'll make sure I sync them up. So we'll do remote shooting. Setting up my camera right now. So this way I make sure I hit mode. I need to be on ETTL. And then I hit that flash symbol. So hit ETTL, gets the mode to ETTL, and then hit the flash symbol so it can turn orange. Once it turns orange, it connects to my trigger. My trigger is connected. So meaning, if I were to, let me see you guys can get a better look at this, because right now the camera is kind of covering it. So that's the flash, right? So if I'm here, and I want to test out to make sure that it goes off at the same time, you can see that, right? So that means that it's connected, okay? If it didn't do that, then I know what I did something wrong. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our test shot, right? So I want to make sure that this is on here. Okay. Now again, I can take this off. I can hand hold it. You know, I can do all that. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a picture with it as is. So I'm gonna take take my lens off, my lid off. Right now I'm looking at the lens. I'm gonna show you what it looks like so far. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna bring you guys closer so you guys can see this right quick. So, keep in mind, of course when I do my self-portraits, I always have it on a self-timer, right? Make sure you guys can really see. And boom. And closer. Okay, here's the self-timer, right? Now, of course, you can do it for 10 seconds, which is what I normally do. You can do 10 for 2 seconds, but then we'll hit off a couple shots, and this one also will hit off a couple shots, but it also show you that it's 5 shots that it'll take. So since I'm not doing self-portraits, I actually have a model here. I'm going to go ahead and just continue with shooting because I said that I would actually make sure that I want to get as many shots as possible while the baby is in the room, so that way I am not wasting time. Okay. Now I might not have time to show you guys another setup for the next shoot that I have on Saturday, but I may do a live of it. I know I'm definitely going to catch BTS of it specifically, but and I might do a preview of what that will look like maybe tomorrow night. Not sure, but I know for a fact I'm definitely going to do some BTS coverage of it specifically for Saturday. So bear with me tonight. It's going to be just about the baby photo shoot and the settings and how to set up. All right. So now I'm going to hit continuous. Hit OK. All right. So now, since you guys are already here, slide, man. first shot. Now, ensure that it took the picture too. And now it says 1/64. And I'm going to show you what that did. So we'll do Canon image. Quick preview. Waiting for this to come up so I can show you guys that. But it definitely came out, already blew it out. Like it's all white. And keep in mind, the settings on it were 1/64. So that's pretty close to to full power. Okay? So I'm gonna go here again. Hold on. That's for the webcam anyway. I'm clicking the wrong one. I gotta figure this out. Anyway, I'm not gonna use that one. We'll use this one. And there you go. That's what that looks like. Blown out. Completely blown out. So what we're gonna do is gonna drop the power. Now, the first thing I definitely wanna do, for me, I wanna go ahead and test out what it looks like if I didn't have the flash power connected. So I'm gonna turn this trigger off. Okay? So now we're going to take the picture without it. So I can make sure my settings are good in camera first. So I'm going to go ahead and do an autofocus. Alright, so wait for that to come up. And what I'm trying to do prior is to ensure that I got everything else set up, because what's going to happen is I want the flash to be the added light. I don't need that to overpower the whole thing. I need it to just add in for me. Okay? So let's see. You see what I'm saying? So that's fine. That's fine. Now we're looking at the background, right? The background, of course, has this particular look. And now, for the most part, I may just have to go ahead and just add the light, but I also want to pay attention to my settings. So currently right now, my settings are 1/80 for my shutter speed, which is pretty slow. If the baby is moving around a lot, I need to make sure that I can keep up and it's not coming out blurry. So first things first, I need to go ahead and up my shutter speed. So I'm probably going to go at 1/200 just to be on the safe side. Then we'll try it again, but keep in mind, it will be dark, okay? Now, we're editing, we're tweaking these things as we go along. Like I said, it's dark, right? And I never expected as much. So now the next thing you need to do is I can adjust my aperture. But it's already at 2.0, meaning my background is blurry, and I can really get as much light as I possibly can. But the thing is, I don't have any other light going towards my model, towards my subject. So this is where, of course, the flash will come into play. But we're still going to hold off just for a little bit, just to ensure that everything else is good. Now, the ISO is currently at 400. Not bad, but any higher, we start introducing grain, okay? So ideally, I like to have it go as low as 100. It's like the ideal, like the best kind, right? Now, if I absolutely have to, if I have no other light sources coming in, then this is where I would do more of a, then I would go up in the ISO, right? But be very, very careful when doing so. Now, unless you have a program that can denoise your pictures or your videos, this is where you have to be careful because it will bring in a lot of noise, right? So we got, the baby's moving around, so we got the shutter speed. The aperture is at 2.0. I might be able to go lower than that. Let's see. I go to 1.8. Okay, I go to 1.8. Now, it might not have made, of course, be as clear, but if I definitely want that bokeh look, then I can keep it that way. All right, so I'll try that shot right quick. And then another tip, if you're using your prime lens, right, and you see it didn't change that whole lot because it is literally 0.2. Literally 0.2. So if you use your prime lens, and say you don't have a flash, but you need other light to go with it, you can definitely use other light. I'm going to show you something real quick. So this is currently still charging, right? But I will show you something real quick so you guys can get an idea. You can use a constant light, right? If you already have a lighting source like this, maybe another strobe light of some sort that is just a constant light. You can actually bring it here and shine it on your subject, and that can help when it comes to your prime lens, right? And I'll show you why. And I can see it clearly. Take the picture, and it should show a lot better, right? And of course, this is where my ISO is still at 400. I can even increase that if I really want to at this point. I can really increase it, right? But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't want to have to increase that. So instead of me increasing that, I would add more light source, right? I'll probably bring the light even closer to my subject without blinding them, making sure that I catch and have and create shadows, right, to that extent. So having to be mindful of those. Now I'm going to test it out with the ISO over 400, just so you guys can see. And then I'll bring it to 200, just for the be on the safe side. So right now, I can bring it up. Let's try 1600. 1600 is going to bring it up. It's going to bring it up, because it was at 400. So 16 is definitely going to add way more light, right? Which is cool, which is ultimately what I want. And so, as you can see, now the image is coming in even better, right? Even better. So this one, I might end up changing that. Oh, this thing is way more than I thought it could. Okay. When your lighting source is surprising. Bring it down a little bit though. Alright. Just in case, and I need that extra light just so I don't get so dark in the shot. Okay, so that would be what I would do. So that's an example. If you do not have any flash, okay, 1600 is not bad. The image came out pretty clean. The baby in this image would be pretty sharp, right? And I do got some shadows that are falling to a certain way that is a little pleasing, right? As opposed to if I had light, just basically had this light on the ceiling, right? So now it can give a little bit of more, a more pleasant look. Give my baby doesn't need a whole lot of fancy shit, to be honest with you. So now, if I decided to use that, I could use that, right? That way I can really just snap, right, with no problem. So now, if I really want to, I can also now decide, you know what? I want to be able to use the strobe, or I want to use my flash to see what it can do, right? So I can cut off my constant light, because at this point I can't really use it. And we'll go over in another video how you can be in an advanced state of using a constant light with your flash, flash. And I've done it before in the past, but I'll do another one. I may update a lot of my videos so that way it could be a more of a 2026 version. I think I'll do that with what I know now. Alright, so I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Create updated continuous and flash photography together. What did we just do? Oh, use continuous light without flash via prime lens. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my ISO all the way down to 200. I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to go take the flash, and we're going to drop that down, because it went over 64. Dropping it down as far as making it darker would be going all the way up to 1 over 128. That'll be darker. The higher you go in number, the darker that the light gets. So the lesser the full light source is. The closer you are to full power, it'll go the closest to 1, right? So I don't want it to be at 1. That's too much. Already, once again, 1 over 64 is too much, so I need to go higher. So I'm going to take the shot without the flash, and then I'm add the flash. Oh, hold on. We're going to change the ISO to 200, and you don't see it's dark as hell. I'm okay with that. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn my trigger on. Okay? Then, and I know it's dark. I already know I'm not tripping. Then I'm going to go to 1 over 128, just to try that out to see what that looks like. The flash went off. Now we're going to see what we get. Okay? Still, way too bright. So I mean, I can do one of two things. I can drop it down even more, or I can move my light back. I'm feeling I may move the light back and drop it down. Okay? Now, when it comes to this, I can even drop my ISO down to 100. That way I already know it's going to be clean. I ain't going to have no grain whatsoever. So I can do that. Auto is cool if you're doing events, but I usually like to control all of my settings. It took me a minute to figure that out, by the way. So I finally got that going, okay? Now also keep in mind, the higher you are to full power, in this case, the lower the number is, the closer it is to 1 over 1 in this case, the more power you're going to use. So the higher the number is, like 1 over 128, 1 over 3 something, for example. But right now we are 1 over 128. And if I decide to go to, I can go to 1 over 120 is the highest. Okay? So that already says a lot. 1 over 120 is the highest. Okay? So we're going to play with that. And that's just on my trigger. Other people might have something different. But for mine, it's 1 over 128 is the highest. Okay? And that could be for multiple reasons. For right now, I just know that's all that it is. So I'm going to bring it back. And then I'm going to start tweaking it, just to make sure the flash makes sense. So I'm going to bring this back. Okay? I'm going to take another picture. Keep in mind, as you can see, I have stayed in the same place. I haven't moved it at all. So this is also making sure that actually looks a lot better. But we're going to tweak it, and we're going to see why. We finished my first thought. I haven't moved around a lot, but that's to make sure that I get the right angle, I get the right look, the right lighting first before I start moving around and doing different things, because at the end of the day, if I move around and my subject moves around, there's a possibility I might need to move my light around as well, just so that way it makes sense. Because right now it's creating shadows, right? And I don't necessarily want the shadows. So what I may have to do is I may have to bring this around this way. And then, since I can't drop my lighting more than this, I'll take another test shot. And then what I'll probably do is change it. It changes it a little bit. It just moves the shadow a little bit. So what I could do at this point is I can move my camera so that way I am more in front of our subject, right? Move the lighting this way. I'll probably move this up even more. We're testing it out. That's what we're doing. This is what I don't want you guys to be afraid of trying at all. So testing it out, bringing it up that way. Now I'm going to bring it back down. Still making sure that it's pointing towards your subject at the end of the day. Bring you out here. So you guys can really get the full picture. Okay? Then we're going to snap a shot. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. Okay. So, ultimately, I may rock with this. I may rock with it, right? Now, if I'm like, you know what, it's cool, but I feel like it can still be a little better, rotate your light. Rotate your light. But at the end of the day, there's still a shadow on the other side. What you don't want to do, though, is have it to where your light is right in front of your subject. You don't want that. You want your subject to be able to catch, or the light to catch your subject. So meaning, I want it to be at an angle at all times. I wanted to create some type of a shadow on one side or in a certain angle of my subject. I don't want it to be directly on them because it's gonna look flat. It could be harsh, and it's just not gonna be flattering overall for the image, right? So we'll do another shot. So move it around some. That looks better. Actually, I think it looks a lot better. So we're getting more fill, right? But of course, to me, I'm just like, I can bring this back, this light all the way back. So we'll bring it back again. Try that one more time. It should soften it up a little bit, just a tad. Okay, so that's perfect, right? So this might be something I might rock with. Okay, now of course, keeping in mind, that is just one spot, right? So we're like a few minutes away from the hour to complete. So that's just one spot. Now I have I have my backdrop, which I usually break out anyway when I do my self-portraits. So I got a backdrop. I'll probably have that set up prior. I'm more likely to put this one here on this side, just so that way it can be like a swift movement and just have only 2 locations. Just because of the fact it's a baby, the shoot was only for like an hour, and I want them to have variety, but I don't want to irritate the baby so much because we're moving around a lot. So this would probably be where I would keep them at ultimately, and then of course just play around with stuff. Angle your camera down if you have to, right? And of course, being that this subject is not moving, I don't have to worry about that so much, but I can keep in mind, of course, that if there's a baby, keep my camera on continuous shooting. That way I can get a bunch of different shots at one time. So that is the goal when it comes to my photo shoot, which is typically going to be for a baby, okay? It's their first photo shoot, and making sure that I have the best shots there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching this for the first time and are seeing me for the first time, just know that I am doing a YouTube live, and I am showing how I prep for my photo shoots. I will be showing more of this on my YouTube channel, so ensure that you also go to my channel, look for Media by Jay, that's J-A-I. That way you can go ahead and subscribe and look at all the other videos that I have when it comes to photo shoots, edits, BTSs, all of that. I do all of that, all right? So we're getting ready to close out, but I do want you guys to see that the ones that are on YouTube, if you see the picture that I have completed right now, that's before the edit, right? So that's the lighting. I got some nice shadow going on, and thank you. It's my pleasure. I appreciate you showing up. Thank you so much. So that's one thing I need you guys to really pay attention to and look at, right? Because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about, and I want you guys to really take heed to that and try it out for yourselves. Okay? Hey, I appreciate you showing up. I don't know what time you made this comment, but thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love when I connect with people and they connect back with me. It's an amazing feeling. All right. So, overall, what we've learned today, all right, it is preparing for your shoots. Like I say, please do not wait till the last minute to prepare for a shoot. Do not try to either do this the day of. Do not, because you don't know what you might need, right? Don't do this when you get to the shoot, because now you're playing people's faces and you're playing people's money and time, right? And your own at the end of the day. So for me, because I do these on a regular basis, I try to come out here every Thursday. I am ensuring that I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm practicing, I know what I'm about to prepare, even if I've been doing this several times. At the end of the day, I want you guys to get into the habit of not waiting for a model, not waiting for a gig, not waiting for anybody to pay you. Set up something in your living room, set up something in whatever room you got that's not occupied in that moment, and just start shooting, right? Because you never know what you're going to create. You never know what you're going to learn. And me doing these lives have learned a lot just in the last year, like 1 year alone. So I am looking forward to seeing what this year is going to bring for me and what I can teach others. My goal is to try to bring this to other platforms. So if you are not already on my Patreon, because right now there's a free marketing Patreon, but I also have the others that will have a cost to them, but I'm still setting those up. So bear with me when it comes to that. But in the meantime, I still have a lot of free information for you in my YouTube lives. It might be a little scattered. It might look like I'm literally just figuring it out, but at the end of the day, I am. And I don't want you to feel as if it's intimidating and you have to have everything right and figured out right when you get in front of the client. I just need you to get the basics. Once you get the basics, you can add on the advanced shit later. But for right now, this is something that I feel like everybody should be able to catch on. It's not too difficult. All you're doing is grabbing a stuffed animal. If you're doing baby photo shoots, you can go ahead and put them onto the side, set them up as if you would for an actual baby. Get your camera linked up. Go ahead and start snapping. Snap. Test out your lighting. It's gonna be your most important part of the whole thing. You can use your cell phone to take these pictures, but if that lighting is not right, the whole picture is dead. Like you're just trash, right? So you don't want to come off as somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I don't care what kind of device you got. Just learn that lighting, and once you do that, everything else is gold. All right. So let me know if this helps you guys at all. And I definitely, again, I always say this, I appreciate you guys for showing up. It's the first live of the year. It's going to be so much more coming up. I promise you, I'm going to do my best to try to create as many recorded footage of whatever it is that I'm doing when it comes to media, that's photography and videography. Just bear with me. I will have everything up as soon as possible. I am just staying busy at this point because I got 2 bookings coming up within the next 2 days. So that's going to be what that's going to be. But as long as you follow me on different platforms, you will absolutely see what I'm working on. So you guys know I'm always putting out content. All right. Franklin says, that's a good point. We all have to start somewhere, learn the basics. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something that it took me a long time to figure out. It got to a point where I was really doing shit on the fly. Like I was getting to the event and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to do this because I didn't take the time to figure it out beforehand. And it messed with me. Now, the part that really messed with me is the client didn't realize this, but I knew it because on the back end, I'm having to re-edit stuff. It's taking me a long time to try to fix the things that I should have had prepped in the first place. So my lighting wasn't the best. I'm adding extra brightness. Now I was looking extra fuzzy. Now I gotta go through Photoshop. It was a lot. It was a lot. So you gotta think about that. Protect your time and protect your client's time. The best way to do that is to prepare. Prepare before you get there. Okay? Friends, everybody got friends that need content. To do something for free for a friend, like, hey, I'm trying to practice. I need you to help me out. I do that till this day. I'll have somebody that really comes through for me wherever I need to practice my shots, and we make it happen, right? So that's all I'm asking for you guys to do. And if you have any questions for me specifically, or something you want me to go ahead and to show a visual of from my aspect, please let me know. You can either send me a message. You can also reach out to me in any of my platforms, or you can leave a comment on this video itself. But I am here to help you guys because I didn't have that help coming up, but I do a lot of research and I want you guys to succeed, all right? There's plenty of money out here to be made, so I am looking forward to see what you guys can come up with everything. Thank you, Franklin, for showing up. I appreciate you, man. I'm hoping I can see you on here more often. I do these every Thursday, and that's going to be at 8 to 9. Basically, it's coming on, it's talking about photography, all right? Photography, some videography, and of course I go from there. I go live on pretty much all platforms. As of right now, just to grow more of a visibility, but ultimately to get more familiar. All right, so thank you so much, and I will catch you and everyone else later. All right, and I appreciate y'all for coming in. Let me go ahead and 2026 will be a good year. I'll be watching more of your lives. Yo, look, man. Look, I appreciate that. You don't know how much that means. Like, again, I'm not saying that I'm like a whole big ass expert, none of that, but I know I'm learning something enough to where people are like, yo, I need to go ahead and work with you, and that means a lot. So I'm just like, let me go ahead and share what I got. It don't take a whole lot. At the end of the day, anybody can pick up a camera and make something happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about this. So the fact that you came on and watched this with me, it means a lot. So I appreciate that. Same thing, if you have any advice or anything that you want me to possibly talk more on or share some tips on, or if you feel like you also would like to share some tips as well, I might make it to a thing later on where I might be communicating with other photographers. I don't know, but I'm open to a lot of different things. This year is going to be tightening up, being intentional, but making sure that I am still giving out all the information that needs to be had. All right. So thank you, and I will catch you later. If not here, definitely on IG. I already know what's up. Alright, I appreciate you, man.